Hello and welcome to Dateline New Haven. I'm your host, Paul Bass, inviting you to look behind the headlines on the stories that make New Haven tick. Man, does Andrew Wolf make New Haven tick every day. He's the city government's Director of Arts, Culture, and Tourism. The arts man, or should we say maniac, who comes up with the fun stuff for people to do out in public without draining the city's treasury. He's been doing it a couple of years now. He comes on WNHH pretty regularly to tell us what's up, and I'm always amazed by all the stuff you come up to do with so little scratch. Well, summer has sprung, and as usual, Andy Wolf has sprung into action. He's here to tell us what he has in store for us in the warm weather, and thanks to Yale New Haven Hospital for providing support for today's program. Welcome, Andy. Welcome
Thank,
back.
thank you, Paul.
And how you doing today?
All is good.
Good.
We are springing into summer.
It's always nice to see you here. Boy, things are busy. The stage is up. There's not too much to do every night. There were 5 shows and 6 nights at the College Street Music Hall last week.
It's incredible.
That thing's really happened.
No, Keith Mahler's done such a wonderful
He
job.
really is. I'm going to get real close to the mic.
Sure.
But yeah, it's 2 years ago that place opened. 12 years that it had lay fallow. And that was one of your first projects when you came to work for the Hart Administration, was getting that back online.
Under the leadership of Matt Nemerson, and it was really quite a fast track.
Mm-hmm.
But the proof is in the results now.
It was. I remember back in the '84. Remember, were you still in town? Because you're from, Andy Wolf is from New Haven, grew up here, went out west, made his fortune. Were you here in the early '80s?
I left in '84. Exactly.
So right when you left, they started Schubert Square,
Right.
which we now call the College Street District, where they renovated the old Palace Theater.
Joel
They called it
Schiavone.
the Palace, yep.
Yep.
And it was Arthur Sherman Theater. And they renovated the Schubert. They renovated the Taft. And they fixed up a lot of empty buildings around there into apartments and restaurants. And the idea was that it would be a busy entertainment district, that on a lot of nights it'd be lit up with shows at what's now the College Street Music Hall, was the Palace, and the Schubert. Now the Schubert's done well, and the restaurant's done great, the housing's doing great. But until 2 years ago, that was a dark theater. And Yale owned the property around it, but not the theater, and it was trying to stop egress, where you have to get legal permission to get stuff out of the building. Then you guys found in old plans, you're working with attorney Steve Bendick, you found in old plans that there was another way to get out. There was some alley that you didn't realize was there that you owned.
I think it was a boarded up exit
Yeah.
that saved a lot of turmoil.
And then you were able to just do it. And with no time, as you said, it was almost overnight. Keith Mahler and his crew, you found him with Premier Concerts. They came in, and I said, how are they going to remake that whole theater in no time? I walked through it the day before. It looked like it wasn't even ready yet. And boy, it was like in one of those Disney movies, all the dust appears on the screen and the stars go out, and all of a sudden this beautiful palace emerges. And it was just, the balconies are beautiful. It's an old house that they restored. It's all clean. You have this bar with craft beer in there, and all the seats are good. And everyone who goes there tells me they just love seeing concerts there.
And I really think it's all about, like the stage you just announced, it's really about passion and a little bit of magic.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of magic.
Having that passion, as Keith does, and so many in this incredible creative
And you got
city.
a young promoter with him, because he's a baby boomer like you and me.
He is.
They got that guy, Mark Maniac.
Yeah.
Right? Maniac Mark, who gets all these great concerts in for all these places around. He understands what people in the
They know
20s
their
and 40s are
audience.
going to.
Yes.
And that's what struck me, Andy,
Yes.
is that there are always these plans. We talk about how we'd like our city to work, and that was a vision from 1984. It took 33 years, 32. And now it's happening.
It's
Like,
happening.
I haven't heard of Ferdinand and the People thing in Color last night. All these bands I never heard of are coming in. Our intern loves to go to them, Samuel Adelman. And they have big crowds of people of all ages, and 5 out of 6 nights. That's impressive. That's a real district. And right across the street, you got Motown the Musical just opened. It's a Schubert. So it's happening.
And you've got the Schubert really embracing the future as well, with a very eclectic schedule for the coming year.
Tell me about that.
And well, if you just go this evening to see Motown, which is one of the greats, but you look at the stand-up comics, you look at RuPaul coming for his runway show. This is what New Haven's all about. It's witty, it's charming, it's stylish, and it's a little bit eccentric, which is why we are no longer New Haven-centric, but the gateway to New England.
Okay.
This is where we
Getting that.
forge alliances And for me, tourism is so critical because we should be a passport to New England.
And that's what Sam found. We have a story up by Sam Hanneman about all those shows at the college student for 1 week. And there were people, they just come into New Haven. Now, if you live here, it's great. It's fun. There's so many things to do.
Sure.
I can't get to half the things I want to go to, whether it's Cafe 9 or stuff at Yale or on College Street. But a lot of people come from pretty far away to these events at the Music Hall and at the Schubert, Long Wharf and Yale Ground.
Absolutely. So you've got this incredible concert on Saturday night, which features a Mexican group, Troker.
Is that on the green?
That's on the green at 6
Okay, we're going to
o'clock.
get that in a minute with Arts and Ideas.
Sunday night is our signature piece with the New Haven Symphony Ideas, thanks to Arts and Ideas, and that features Jimmy Green Quartet. And what I love about the Mexican is that the Mexican, I believe the ambassador is coming for a reception, and that's what makes New Haven very unique because it's also a place for diplomatic, with Yale as a centerpiece, of course, as a global calling card, to be a pass-through for ideas and for real change agents in our society. So I really think that we've reached this point where you look at Yale Properties, what's happened downtown. You know, you cannot divorce the commerce from the education, from the retail, and new restaurants opening each week. So for me, it's a thrilling time to be back and lending my help any way I can.
And help make it happen. Now, you
Right.
talk about art, you talk about ideas. We've had a festival now since the 90s called International Festival of Arts and Ideas.
Correct.
There's always some drama with the money coming through the state, but it comes on every year, couple of weeks, and now we're full-fledged in it. We have events. I guess they don't used to do much on Monday, right? But otherwise, the other days of the week. Downtown, free on the green. Sometimes pay some money at Long Wharf. This is really interesting. And it could be from all over the world who come and perform here, as well as they dip into the community to come up with some interesting stuff. Aaron Jafaris grew up here, but his work has been done all over the world. He's a hip-hop librettist and
Absolutely.
playwright, and he has a new show he co-produced with people in New Haven, both amateurs and professionals of all ages, about I guess pain and trauma. It's called Belonging. It's going to be at Long Wharf this weekend.
Exactly.
That's one of the marquee shows. But you were just mentioning 2 concerts free on the green this weekend. So what time for the Saturday one with the Mexican
6
group?
o'clock. Sunday at 7 o'clock, Father's Day treat. The tribute I have also is to Mayor Harp. She really does go the distance to promote New Haven with culture broadly defined as a cornerstone of the economic revival that we are really all pushing to succeed.
Well, she brought you back here from Los
She
Angeles
did.
to do this
Right.
as the arts and cultural person for the city.
Right.
Back 4 years ago now, right?
It's 3.
Time goes fast. Okay.
3 and 4 months.
And her mission to you was, we don't have a lot of money, but you got to make a lot of things happen. You got to make events happen pretty much every month.
It really gets back to the word passion. We've got 84 arts and humanities groups in the city, which is extraordinary for a city of our size, but we're also a region that is formidable if we tap into that resource and make it all about enjoying the moment. And
the moment now is the beginning of summer.
Summer.
And that is, I said, the Arts and Ideas Festival. Now that's going through what, June what?
That'll go through June 24.
Okay, so that's 2 more weeks.
Right,
No, wait, it's 1.5 more weeks.
right.
So there'll be concerts on the green this weekend, but there'll also be stuff during the day also on the green, right?
80% of all the events are free, and it's all listed on their website,
So that's Art Idea.
plural, artsideas.org.
I thought it's Art Idea. Let's look this up. I always thought it was Art Idea. It's kind of like
It is Art Idea. You are correct.
.org.
I got
And that's,
it right
but there's way too many events to mention. Though you mentioned you're going to probably hit this concert tomorrow night, Saturday night. You're going to hit the concert Sunday night with the symphony. What is the symphony concert on Sunday night?
The Sunday night, as I mentioned, is Jimmy Green Quartet and the New Haven Symphony Orchestra. He's an internationally recognized saxophonist. And in addition to the festival, we also have the main stage, which is Shakespeare in August. Operapalooza returns this
Oh,
year.
yeah, we're going to get to all that.
Yeah.
I want to go one by one.
So
Just let people know what we have in
So
store
the
for the weekend.
festival is the beginning of our 4-month window of opportunity
4-month window
to
opportunity.
be outside.
It's just fun to be outside, do stuff for New Haven, most of it free,
Most of it.
including listening to Andy Wolf, the Director of Arts, Culture, and Tourism for the City of New Haven right now on Dateline New Haven at WNHH Radio, your home for community radio, at 103.5 FM and live streamed at newhavenindependent.org. So we don't want to get too much of people's minds because they got to figure out all these million events for this weekend for Arts Ideas. But let's talk about some of the rest of the summer, Andy. One of the things we've been doing for summers now are movies in public parks. When do those take place and why?
So we've got the movies, and we've also got the Cool Breeze Summer Music in the Park series
Hmm.
that has grown each of the 3 years I've been here.
And the idea there is that you listen to music in a city park. It's usually during the week.
And for people who work, it's such a pleasure to come home, take a lawn chair, and go to your city park, because we do have some of the most beautiful scenic parks in the country. And again, free with the main stage, and we partner with the public library to promote literacy in the Readmobile. So
Okay.
everything is layered to promote what I call broadly culture and spiritual uplift. And so those
So those
take
are those
place
usually
with the
Are they
movies.
usually Thursday nights or the same night?
Wednesday nights.
So Wednesday night in the summer, July and August.
Yes, and all listed on infonewhaven.com.
Well, let's go slower on that. Infonewhaven.com, not org.
Not org.
Infonewhaven.com. That's where you can find out in your neighborhood park. I know there's one, I believe, Scantlebury Park, right, in Dixwell. There's usually one Fort Nathan Hale.
Worcester Square.
Worcester Square. Oh, that's a nice place. For
Yes,
concert.
beautiful.
Oh, well, we got them at Beecher. The Beecher concerts outside the Westville Library. I know those are on Monday nights, right, all summer.
Hmm.
And that's very festive. They also have a pie making contest. Boy, so much goes on. What a fun city.
It is.
Summer's the best. So be planning this summer once a week. Go to neighborhood park after work one night.
Over the hump Wednesday.
And then is it Friday night? Is the movies?
the Friday night movies?
Where do those take place?
Those take place throughout the city in different parks as well.
What kind of movies you showing? How do you decide them?
I'm not sure what Becky Bombaro has.
She's the head of the Parks Department.
She's our director of parks, and she did a survey for the public choice. And that's
Okay, so they ask people what movies. Oh, that's right. We put that on our website.
Yeah,
Have you gone to any of those?
I have.
What did you see?
I saw, I believe, the what did I see? The Sound of Music. Or,
Okay,
Right.
that's a good movie.
Right.
So, what's the advantage of going to a movie outdoors in a park in the summer? Can't I just rent my DVR or download from Netflix and watch on my screen at home? Why would I want to go out to a New Haven park in the summer and watch a movie?
So you mentioned at the outset, Paul, that we were part of the baby boomer generation. When we were kids, we had the outdoor bowl drive-in movie theater, and that really does stay with you the rest of your life, where you can meet your neighbors, enjoy a movie.
And here you're not even in the car. You're
You're
out on
not
a
in the
blanket.
car.
You're in the park.
And it's just a
Can you hear the
phenomenon.
movie? Like,
You-
it's distracting when you have a big screen up there?
Not really, but
Because
I
it's
think
night where it's mellower.
it's more about the fun of being together.
Uh-huh.
And I know at the Hollywood Bowl in LA, they get 38,000 people for their one night movies, which are a tribute to a sing along. So it's a very much quintessential American pastime. The movies,
Yeah.
jazz, the movies all come from this country. And we have to stay really focused on that in this very fragile moment where the world is really questioning what is democracy.
Mhm.
It's what we export so often but take for granted.
And part of democracy, obviously, is voting.
Yes.
Part of it is being
Civic
involved in
pride.
campaigns. And part of living in a civic society is going out and being with other people and doing stuff together.
Exactly. That social contract that we really do have with each other.
And then, God forbid, having some fun in it.
Exactly. Why
So
not?
you mentioned the Opera Palooza. And that's something you started, 2 years ago, correct?
This will be our second year.
This will be your second year.
Right.
And that's when you just, I remember Mayor Harp said that was one of the most fun things she did last summer. You're on the green, it's for free, and you just get a million divas, right, from all over to sing.
Well, it's a little bit of rock and a little bit of roll, because what we do with Wendy Hunter and Simon Holt is we outreach to the major music conservatories of New England to promote new emerging talent. And what I love is it's also a tribute to our sister city Amalfi,
Mhm.
because the focus is not a full opera, it's Italian arias under the stars. And there's nothing better. And now with the big stage, we have a 30-piece live orchestra. This is going to be an incredible session this summer.
When is Opera Palooza?
It's August 19th, and a shout out to Premier Subaru and Kia, because they've really stepped up to be the sponsor this summer. And
That's part of what you do in your job, Andy, right? Is that you don't have a lot of money to play around with.
very
And
little.
yet you've been putting on more events than any of us could possibly go to. Is that by often getting sponsors in the private sector? Is it by combining with other organizations that do events like Yale or the Parks Department, that already has that in their budget, already has the capacity to help? A little bit of everything.
It's really the team that really promotes private-public partnerships and layering. like last weekend with the food truck festival and the dragon boat race. Always
Put them together. And
put it
Alpalooza, you
together.
have a food fest.
We do have this year the pizza trucks and desserts and everything that you would love for an Italian evening.
So you got your ears open. You're at City Hall. You know, right where you sit, there are people working on helping food trucks do better in the city. So you're thinking, how do I link that into when I'm doing a public event to help everyone participate and make it more of an event?
And also with an awareness, a keen awareness by the mayor and our team of culture. What does culture mean for the future economic well-being of our city?
So give me the answer.
It is about civic pride of place and spiritual uplift to attract the next generation to live, work, learn, play, and invest in New Haven.
Mm-hmm. All right, Andy. Well, so that'll be Opera-palooza. We got summer. There are other summer concerts, right? So we got these concerts for the next few weeks at Arts and Ideas, and the last week at Arts and Ideas also has concerts on the green, right? Saturday, Sunday night.
Absolutely, and let's not forget July, the 22nd.
When the festival's over, you're still doing live concerts on the
Market New Haven presents the Stylistics.
Yeah,
on
remember
July
that? Remember when we were kids?
Are you kidding?
Bet you by golly, wow.
Yep.
I got that on I went to Corvettes, and I got that on a 45.
There you go. No, it was funny because I was talking to Bob Alvine at Premier Subaru, and he was talking about Johnny Mathis back in the day. And I tried to go buy a CD, and I had the hardest time finding a CD because it's all downloaded. You know, so we've got the Stylistics, and then on July 29th, Sheila E.
Okay.
And that's Market New Haven presents on the green with Hale Healthcare.
And when you find you're able to work with these other groups in town to help pay the freight, why do they do it?
Part of it is I've learned after my tenure a tradition of who's doing what and doing it well. I mean, for me, it was kind of a soul marching band.
You're the department.
Yeah, with
Do you ever yell at yourself? You say, "Hey, Andy, get this." No, I'm busy now, Andy.
Constantly. You know me.
And you got Kim Patrol working with you too. So dude, she can yell at you.
Everybody, there's a lot of noise because what you seek is the highest creative output. But what you've got is these groups that historically have done what we see as part of the summer program for New Haven.
And I know they kind of feel like we got to do this. We got to have stuff happening in New Haven.
Always.
That's part of you got to have concerts on the green. You got a place for people to go and come. Then they'll come to afterwards. Not just restaurants, but there's also live music in clubs around town after dark.
Oh, absolutely.
Where are some of your favorite places?
Jazz Haven, the Owl Shop is doing.
Do you go to the Owl Shop?
I do.
It's hard for me because I can't really breathe around all that smoke.
But Glenn Greenberg is such a patron of the arts. He's
Yeah,
so
they do a lot of. I heard they have a lot of good music there.
and he loves music, and I love that about him. You know, it's just great.
And where else do you like to hear music?
You mentioned Cafe. You mentioned, of course, the
Cafe 9 is great.
The College Street Music Hall, Cafe 9. They're everywhere.
Pacific Standard Tavern on Crown Street gets a lot of live bands.
And we're getting the new club where the Russian lady was. That's going to be huge.
Oh, that's a big spot.
12,000 square feet.
So what's going in there?
700-seat restaurant, I understand, with a jazz performance space.
Oh, really? Who's putting that
Not
up?
jazz, but music. That's a group. I cannot recall where they're out of, but they're doing a big job there.
Because that was called. What was it called? The one in Hamden that used to be part of the two-person chain, the Irish music.
Before I was here?
Putnam and Dixwell, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The playwright.
That was
Okay, but you're talking Temple Street.
Temple Street.
From Olive and Oil, yeah.
That Temple Street corridor has really been jump-started.
Yeah.
It's great.
How's Olive and Oil doing? Because that space had a little bit of trouble for a while. That people going in and out.
I really like it, and when I pass by, it looks full. That
Okay.
gives me great happiness. But the future plan is also for that courtyard between the Schubert and the Omni to be a really great mini park.
That is nice space at some point. I think there's going to be some event there this summer, right? There's
There-
going to be an outdoor in the Temple Street courtyard, some live music.
Exactly.
It's hard to even keep track of all this.
Right.
But that's what we're doing now on WNHH Radio with Andy Wolf, talking about summer in the city. He's the Director of Arts, Culture, and Tourism in New Haven. Andy Wolf, we also have a craft beer race that we started doing every summer. Tell me about that.
That one I'm not too involved with.
Is that in Edgewood Park?
It's in Edgewood Park.
So some private operator comes and does that.
Exactly.
But they also have bikes in that, or?
And the bike race is part of it, I believe. But the one thing in terms of mobility that I did want to bring up is we were contacted about 2 weeks ago The national magazine for Amtrak is called The National. I believe it leaves from Union Station. And this year, for the first time in August, in every passenger seat, which, by the way, attracts more passengers per day than all the airlines combined, is going to be the magazine with their first pull-out supplement called Destination. And this year, it's Destination Connecticut. We're the first, with a 24-page spread with,
Wow.
with a big showpiece about New Haven.
Oh, that's great.
So this is great because it gears up, it ramps up for the fall to visit Connecticut.
And do they contact you for that?
I am involved with a group across the state through the Sports and Convention Bureau to really promote the state like never before.
And is the statewide effort flagging with budget cuts? I know there's always fear about that.
Well, this is why, in Chinese terms, chaos does produce opportunity. We have to really focus in on how to be efficient and maximize our assets any way we can.
So we already did that in New Haven. I mean, that's an old story here. Is that you really are the department, you and Kim, right?
Well, and all the other departments now really embracing what we can do, working together to create new energy.
All right. Talking about other energy, there is a bike race you're very much involved with, which is a bigger level one, the Grand Prix.
Coming back, yeah.
And we had that last year, and it's going to be September 15th again this year. So now we close down downtown streets on Friday afternoon, and we have, again, it's a food and a sports festival. You watch these people competing from all over in a bunch of bike races through downtown streets.
Right.
And then, I'm sorry,
it's an exhibition.
So it's not a race?
No.
Oh.
I think it's part of the Grand Prix that is showcasing the streets of New Haven as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what's the food part?
The food part is engaging all of our fantastic multi-ethnic restaurants to put an outdoor presence and a spin on this coming together of community and region.
So you ask them all to put some kind of, you can buy food outside and sit outside.
Exactly. Grab
That's
and
fun.
go. Yeah.
Now you're not allowed to rain on any of these, right?
Oh, please.
You guys
That's out of the question.
yeah.
That's Southern California karma. Right. Not allowed.
And then the Pilot Pen tennis tournament still takes place. I guess it's not the Pilot Pen anymore, the Connecticut Open. And that's
bigger than ever.
August.
That is August. And as we both read and salute and celebrate, there's talk about using the stadium.
Now I remember that from the 90s, Andy. I lived in
Yes,
Westville, and I was so
course.
happy when I could walk to go see Mark Cohn or someone play. I wasn't at the Moody Blues, but they played too. Groups like that in the at that tennis stadium that's built in Westville, right next to the Yale Bowl. It was built with, I believe, $18 million of state money back in the early 90s. We actually built things for that amount of money. It actually sounded like a lot back then. Isn't that funny?
Isn't it funny?
And we haven't had concerts there for decades, and now I know they're negotiating with Aretha Franklin, hoping she'll come, but they're going to tiptoe back in it. Would you like to see a lot of concerts there?
For me, a lot would be maybe 3 or 4. Just enough to activate that space. There's nothing for me more interesting than how to use an existing asset to its highest ability.
And it just sits there otherwise the whole year, 50 weeks.
Well, it's been for a reason. I think, in terms of the infrastructure with lighting, with sound, with all the things that it takes to put a concert on today versus back in the day, which is why the sole person concerts really appeal to me.
You don't need to set up.
You don't need the big pyrotechnics.
So do they have the capacity to stage a concert, or do they have to buy a lot more equipment?
It'll be the producer, again, a private-public partnership, coming in and doing what they do far better than we could as the government, which is...
They'll bring in their own equipment.
Which is my message.
All right. And so so you would like to see several concerts a year.
That'd be great.
Any skinny on whether it's going to happen with Aretha? We don't know yet.
I'm reading the same report you are.
Okay.
Right.
All right. And then there's Elm Shakespeare in the park before we get out somewhere. They have a new director, new energy. And there is this moment in New Haven, I feel like a lot of arts agencies are getting new direction. The Arts Council is a great new director, Daniel Fitzmaurice.
Correct.
Brings a lot of energy. You see, Debbie, I believe, has a new director, and you have and Elm Shakespeare, the founding director, moved on, and Rebecca Goodhart, is that her name?
She
The woman who runs it.
so
She's
delightful.
a dynamo.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
And people love that too. That's in a really nice park on St. Ronan Street. And that's where they have that. Is that the end of August?
Yes.
So what are they doing this year?
So this is the setting for, I believe, this year's Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
And Rebecca comes to us from San Francisco.
Do they let anyone die who looks like Donald Trump? Because I heard that that's illegal now in America.
Well, we're going to skip that
In
conversation.
plays.
Right? We're going to focus on culture.
That is culture. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my mind around that one story.
Right. This is again new leadership, new energy. Arts and Ideas is getting a new director.
That's right.
The symphony will be getting a new conductor.
Yeah.
So all of this puts us in play, and the attention we're getting for people applying is just amazing. From
Who wouldn't want to be in New Haven?
Who wouldn't? Right?
Seriously, I mean.
Well, you're here, Paul.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
They hear about you.
I don't know about that one. And then another. This is quieter, but one project you were very involved in your job, and I think it showed the potential for, even if you don't have much funding, a difference that a government arts office can make is how you helped save the John Slade Ely House. That was going out of business. A trust that was managed by an out-of-state bank was going to just close this place.
Right.
And you got involved with local artists to keep it open. Tell us about that.
So
because now they've got some really interesting exhibits going on there.
The exhibits, again, let the groups maximize their creativity, and you've got yourself a home run. But that really is a tribute to Tom Danahee and ACES for stepping up and saying this is a resource that we want.
Right. So ACES,
which
is an arts education group, they do, and
right.
also other kinds of education. They also run the Education Center for the Arts.
Yes.
They are using that building as part of their campus with education and the arts, but local artists have a space too,
Exactly.
and they have exhibits there too.
So during my first 4 or 6 months, I did a walking tour of the whole city to look at the assets. And one of the things that really struck me as worthy of my attention was the studio space for ECA being in the basement without light. And that became the driving force, because you've mentioned several times, Paul, the word free. And what I like to tell people in New Haven, in the region, it's not free, it's without charge. Someone is paying for this.
It costs money to do it.
And in this economic turmoil, where we see the NEA, the NEH, the museum funds, the after-school arts programs all reduced to zero by proposal, not in actuality, it is so disheartening, because this is what makes us strong. This is what makes us part of a mosaic that is so incredible in the civilized recorded history. So what I like to think about John Slade Ely is that Mrs. Ely, a brilliant, wonderful civic leader back in the day, foresaw this in terms of a gathering place for fine art.
When she, in her will,
when she was the guiding motivator, leaving her mansion and a trust fund. And what happened thereafter is a case study for how our sector, what I call the creative sector, very often gets the short end of the stick and is the afterthought, but that is not going to happen much longer. We have a voice now at the table, and we're being heard.
And we're also going to hear some jazz. There's going to be a jazz festival in the Green. That's a smaller operation, right?
This year it'll be a little bit different. We're looking at courtyards.
Oh, that's nice hearing jazz in a courtyard.
So we've got 4 courtyards. We've got.
And when is this, August?
That will be what it is. It's planned this year to coincide with the return of our university sector.
So
students, September, so that we can do a block party welcome home for them as well.
Very nice. That's good thinking.
Yeah.
But you got the
layering.
So where are the courtyards?
We've got at Trinity and Devil Bikes and G Cafe. We've got the
Pitkin Plaza.
Pitkin Plaza. We've got the Schubert to the Omni.
Oh, that's a nice.
Yeah, we've got Broadway, Little Plaza there.
Oh, nice.
And we've got the Long Wharf area with Reed Emmer, who's one of the geniuses behind Junksy Kitchen. They just opened at Columbia, by the way, it started in New Haven. He is motivating a big show down on Long Wharf.
Like in Long Wharf Park?
Where the Food Truck Festival was.
Oh, okay.
To welcome back university students.
Oh, so that's good. Wait, you can get them out to Long Wharf.
We are working with Uber to provide.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But not with Travis, because he's out.
He's out.
But Uber's
We're not talking about Travis or Trout. Okay.
Actually, that is a good, especially the latter, is a good way to spend one day. Finally, Annie, before I let you go, what's up with the Lose? One of your idea was to add creative specifically designed new public bathrooms in New Haven. How are we doing with that?
And good idea never fades away. We've got the drawings, we've got the know-how, and now again we're looking for the sponsor. And I think it will be very well received by New Haven.
I know that will be true on that score. And I also know that if there's anybody who's going to be able to pull that off, it's Andy Wolf.
Well, this is something you and I started way back when,
Yep.
and we're going to see it through.
We're going to see it through to completion,
You
and then we're
bet.
going to make use of it.
Right.
Because we love to be in New Haven and go to so much that has to offer, so much for fun. Right? It's not free. It's free of charge, right? No
Without charge.
Without charge. And sometimes with charge. But Andy, well, thank you so much for coming in and giving us.
Paul, you're the best.
You're always the sunshine in the studio. You are, and it is true. You're not making it up. I mean, there's just so much great to do in New Haven. Summer is when our city explodes in fun.
I'm privileged to help. I'm privileged to help.
And you make it happen.
Well, we all do.
Yeah, and thanks for coming in and joining us on Dateline New Haven. Thanks to Yale New Haven Hospital for providing support for today's program. We're going to take it out with the Afro-Semitic Experience performing I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free from the group CD A Plea for Peace. Now, we know what it's like to be free. We just got to remember to book our flight. Book your flight with us all day and all night long here at WNHH, New Haven's home for community radio. Nice work. It is amazing how much there is.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I'm not even going to make it to
My
midnight.
mind